Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to episode number 56 of the Houston Astros franchise here on MLB The Show 20. Today we have two sets of games, the first one being a home series against Kansas City, and then we're going to go on the road to Baltimore to face the Baltimore Orioles. This is the game 2 in this series because we simulated game 1 at the end of April, but if you're excited for game 2, make sure you leave a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. I noticed about 3/4 of you who watch this video aren't subscribed. Just go ahead and hit the button. You've already seen the instructions on the screen. It's that simple. On the mound for the Astros today will be Justin Verlander, who's had a phenomenal start to the season so far with a 1.73 ERA. He's showing that his age has not mattered to him so far. Leading off for Kansas City will be a man on an 8-game hit streak, Hunter Dozier, who also had a beautiful 2020 season. He's going to take the first pitch of the ball game down the line at third, but he will be thrown out at first base. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Verlander. Take a look at the lineup for Kansas City. We see Hunter Dozier. Then it'll be Nicky Lopez, followed by Whit Merrifield in center. The powerful DH Jorge Soler, Michael Pranko at third base, followed by Dansby Swanson, and then Jake Schneider, Travis d'Arnaud, and Brett Phillips. Here is Nicky Lopez on 1-2, is also going to ground it to Bregman, and Bregman will record the first 2 outs of the ballgame. That brings up Whit Merrifield, 1-0 to Merrifield. And he's going to line this one into left field, and it's going to get down in front for a base hit. So a little 2-out single here for Kansas City. Jorge Soler up next, 2-2 to him. He lines this one, but there is Jack Mayfield to make the play. Remember, Jose Altuve is injured. On the mound for Kansas City is the lefty Danny Duffy, who's off to a solid start of his own through 6 starts. He's 2.57 ERA, pitched an average of about 6 innings per 26 strikeouts. He will start off his day with Avisail Garcia, who will be playing left field today. He's hitting 260 on the season, and he will draw a leadoff walk. So Garcia will be put on base, going to number 2 today, which is Josh Reddick. First pitch, he's swinging at a fastball, and he lifts it into right center. But an easy play for Merrifield, and that'll be the first outs of the bottom of the first. Let's take a look at this Astros line. I've already seen it looks a little different today. Garcia and Reddick. Then we'll see Alvarez, Bregman, Correa, Springer, followed by Justin Smoke Scott first base today. Jack Mayfield is filling in for Altuve, and then Martin Maldonado because it is a lefty on the mound. Here is Alvarez, 3-2, swings and misses on a high fastball. He's still slumping, it looks like, as he records the second out at the inning. Then Alex Bregman up next. He is going to swing and miss on a high fastball that would have definitely been a ball, and Duffy gets through bottom 1. Well, bottom 2 now. We're going to start off with Correa, who slaps one into right field the opposite way for a base hit. So leadoff man once again on board for Houston. George Springer up next. 3-2, gets a nice fastball he could do something with, but instead pops it up behind second base for an easy first out. Justin Smoke up next. 3-1 to him. He's going to walk as well. So we got runners now on first and second with 1 away as Duffy's already walked 2 batters. Jack Mayfield, ground ball to second base. 4-6, doesn't get the 3 double play. So now we got runners on the corners here for Maldonado. 1-0 count, gets a nice fastball right down the middle with good timing, but it's just a pop-up. That's just been the season it has been so far. How about we go top 5 now with the Royals. Jake Schneider on to the plate. He's already doubled back in the second, we didn't see. 2-1 to him, and he's going to go 2 for 2 on the day as he hits a single right up the middle. And now Kansas City has a leadoff batter in the top of the 5th. Travis d'Arnaud up next behind the plate. He's going to ground this one to Mayfield. This time we don't have a 4-6-3 as Correa misses the exchange. But the Royals, on the other hand, have a man down. Jake Schneider, who slid into second, is gripping at his calf now, and he will have to come out of the game. Brett Phillips up next will line this one into center field for a base hit, so Kansas City once more. They have runners now on first and second with 1 out. Back to the top of the order with Dozier. He's going to ground this one up the middle. Correa fields it, flips it, and it's a double play to get out of the 5th. Coming in for the injured player will be Ryan McBroom. He's going to fill in for first base. And as we go into the top of the 6th now, Verlander pitching to Nicky Lopez, who fouls one back. And Verlander actually felt some discomfort on that play. I kind of skipped through the injury kind of fast. So we bring in Lance McCullers out of the pen. Very interesting choice. First batter is still Nicky Lopez, 0-2 to him, and Nicky Lopez will line this down the line for a leadoff base hit, as now he is on first. And we're going to have to bring in Joe Smith because apparently Lance McCullers is hurt as well. So 2 pitchers go down in this half inning, as here's Joe Smith trying to finish it off, and he's going to give up a single as well. So now runners on first and second, no outs for the Royals. Jorge Soler, very powerful man, the man you don't want at the plate. Thankfully, it's a line out to Garcia in left to record the first out of the top of the sixth. Michael Franco up next. First pitch swinging, not a good idea. 6, 4, 3. Get him at first base to get out of the sixth inning. How about we go bottom six now, back to the top of the order for us. Garcia back at the dish. He's 0 for 1 on the day. He gets a 1-1 count on a changeup and lifts it deep into the right center gap. And it's going to get down and go over the wall for a leadoff ground rule double. Now Josh Reddick, 1-0 to him. He chops this one to the second baseman, who records the out. But now Garcia is 90 feet away from breaking this tie. Alvarez is up next, 2-2. Gets a nice slider, but pops it up as Michael Franco will be able to come in and record out number 2, which brings Bregman up to the dish. 2-0 to him, and he lines it up the middle for a base hit. The Astros have finally broken this tie. It's now 1-0 here in the bottom of the sixth, as Bregman's all fired up thanks to that base hit. Correa up next. He gets a nice slider high in the zone and puts it in front of Merrifield out in center field for a base hit. Bregman's actually going to go first to third. So runners on the corners. George Springer, 1-0 to him, lines it into right field. Another base hit, and another Astros run will come around to score. It's now 2-0. Still in the game is Duffy. Smoke, though, at the plate. It's going to ground up the middle, but he happens to be almost the slowest man in the league, so it's not going to be a base hit. So it's now 2-0 Astros. As we go into the top of the eighth, Ryan Presley comes in to set up for the ninth. He's had a pretty solid start to the season. 2-1 to him. He's going to give up the first pitch, or first batter is going to line up into right field against the wall, beating the shift. And Kansas City will actually have a leadoff double for their troubles. Nicky Lopez up next, 2-1 to him. He's going to line up the middle for a base hit. Hunter Dozier not going to come around just yet. As of now, though, we have runners on first and third. Absolutely no outs for Whit Merrifield. He chops this one in the infield. That's going to be enough to score Dozier. Merrifield will be thrown out to first base, but it's now 2-1 Astros. Jorge Soler on the 3-1 pitch. Pitch will be in the dirt for a ball. Runner will advance to the third, and now he is 90 feet away from tying this game. Presley struggling here. Michael Franco, though, goes down on the slider for out number 2. That's a big strikeout. That brings up Dansby Swanson, the former Brave, and he's going to strike out as well on the slider. Presley settles down and only gives up 1. But we go bottom 8 to see if the Astros can get a little bit of insurance. Josh Reddick, who's 0 for 3 on the day, will start off for us. Full count to him. He's going to look at a high fastball for a first hit, or first batter walk, to start the bottom of the 8th. Alvarez up next. He's going to swing and miss on a high fastball. Usually connects on those, but hasn't done so far this season. That brings up Bregman, and Bregman gets a changeup right down the middle. He will not miss those. That ball is gone and well up on the train tracks. 2-run shot for Alex Bregman, his 8th home run of the season. And he's hit a lot of 2-run shots this year. Alex solo shot Bregman might be a thing of 2020 as the Astros extend their lead. It's now 4-1 here in the bottom of the 8th. Take another look at this one, hit deep to left field. No doubt about it. You can see it goes well up into the train track area. Carlos Correa up next. He gets a 1-1 high curveball. All he can do is mash it to Swanson at short for out number 2. That means Springer up next. First pitch to him. He's swinging. He's getting a nice timing on a fastball. Puts it in the gap up against the wall. And it looks like we have a little 2-out double for Springer here. It's going to turn this over to Josh Smoke once more, but before that, the Royals are going to turn it over to Greg Holland for his 10th appearance. Hasn't done so good this season with a 6.75 ERA in that span. Justin Smoke, I don't know why I called him Josh Smoke, goes down on the high fastball. Maybe I shouldn't have called him Josh, to end the 8th. But we're going to go top 9. You know what that means? That's Roberto Osuna's time as he's looking for save number 10 and 10 opportunities. See if he can get it done. Starting off with Ryan McBroom, strikes out on the slurve. What a nasty pitch. As Osuna is 4th in the American League in saves. Nick Anderson of the Tampa Bay Rays leads it. Darno, he's going to go down on the slurve as well. Just absolute beauty to watch. Phillips, though, he will walk on the full count, so that puts the runner on first. Going back to Hunter Dozier in the top of the order. 1-1 to him. He gets a high fastball, pops it up behind first base. Smoke is there, and that'll end this ball game. Royals lose to the Astros 4-1. As you could thank Alex Bregman for 3 of those 4 RBIs. Winning pitcher goes to Smith. Duffy does get the loss, and Osuna gets his 10th save of the season. As I imagine, player of the game, yep, Alex Bregman, 2 for 4 with that home run, as well as 3 RBIs in this game. Good game all around for the Astros as they take the first 2 in the set. And then game 3, we end up, before we get there, Verlander only had an abdominal strain, so he will be okay. Game 3, we do win 8-0. Absolutely shut out the Royals, so we sweep them here in Houston. So we round out a record 19-14 before a 3-game trip to Baltimore. It was a dominant performance by Jose Urquidy, which you'll love to see. And then in the second half of the episode, we're going to travel to Baltimore to face the new look and 12-24 Baltimore Orioles. Now, Baltimore Orioles obviously made a huge addition this offseason, who you'll see in the middle of their lineup at number 3. Right fielder Mookie Betts, the highly coveted free agent, signed a 10-year deal, mega deal, to come to Baltimore. And they all made a couple of other moves. You see Elvis Andrus, the former Texas Ranger who was traded for in the offseason, as well as Josh Fuentes, who they traded for this season from Colorado. On the mound, though, it'll be Spencer Howard making his 8th appearance, 4.15 ERA on the season. Very high whip, though, at 1.5 with 36 strikeouts. First batter of the day today will be Michael Brantley. He's going to pop up to left field for out number 1. He's going to bring up Yuli Gurriel, looking a little different, going up against a righty today, and no Altuve. So Gurriel's number 2, but he strikes out looking on a borderline fastball. And then Alvarez 1-2 to him. He checks his swing, but he apparently did go around. So Alvarez is also sat down on strikes. On the bump for Houston will be Josh James. We've seen a lot of Josh James so far this season. He's been very hit or miss, up and down. But also got basically a whip that's almost identical to Spencer Howard. Leading off for Baltimore will be Elvis Andrus, who we're very familiar with, and he's going to sit down on the high 99 heater for the first out. Andrew Velasquez up next, 1-0 to him. He's going to put this one over the glove of Gurriel into right field. And the Baltimore Orioles have a 1-out single. Here comes a Mookie Betts, who's tied for 4th in the American League with 8 steals, has hit in .287 and 7 homers. Obviously, the centerpiece of this Baltimore Orioles rebuild is Mookie Betts. Very first pitch to Mookie, there's actually going to be a runner taken off, so the runner does steal second base, so Velasquez on second now. And then the next pitch, Mookie will line into center field for a base hit. Velasquez will stay on third, so that puts runners on the corners with 1 away for Trey Mancini. His first pitch, he's going to drill this one to left center, and it's going to get down in the gap. Velasquez will score. Mookie will go to third, and the Baltimore Orioles are on the board in the bottom of the first. Austin Hayes up next. He grounds for 6-3. Diaz is at second base today, but that'll end the first. How about we go bottom 3 back to the top of the order? Elvis Andrus, he's going to lead off walk this time. He doesn't chase the 99 high fastball. Velasquez up next. He swings and misses on a very nice looking changeup. And James has his 3rd strikeout of the day. Mookie Betts aboard once more, 3-2 to him. He's going to line this one up the middle for another base hit, another single into center. Puts runners on first and second now for Baltimore. Trey Mancini back up at the dish, 2-1 to him. Grounds into Gurriel at first, who throws it into left field. That is going to be an error, and instead of a 3-6-3 double play to end the inning, it's now 2-0 Baltimore. That's a very costly error by Yuli. And runners are now on second and third for Austin Hayes, who grounds to Correa short. He does record the second out, but Baltimore is now up 3-0. So 2 runs come across since that error. Zach Green up next, 2-0 to him. He lines this one up the middle. Correa, great range, great throw out at first base. Finally ends the bottom of the 3rd inning. We're going to go bottom 4 now. Very next inning with Baltimore. Here's Chad De La Guerra playing second base today for the Orioles. 1-2 to him. He lifts this pitch deep to left center. Springer has to go back, going way back, but makes the catch. A nice range out there by Springer. Adley Rutschman, the young promising catcher, up next. He's going to ground this one up the middle. That will be another base hit into center field. And once more, the Orioles have another runner on base. Josh Fuentes up next. He is going to walk on the low fastball. So back-to-back base runners for Baltimore's manager Cook looks on. Back up at the top of the order, Elvis Andrus, a pitch in the dirt will move the runners to second and third. That's going to be a wild pitch against Josh James. In the very next pitch, Andrus up the middle base hit. One run's going to come around. The second run is also going to come around. And the Orioles are up now, up 5-0 in the bottom of the fourth, thanks to Elvis Andrus. Andrew Velasquez up next, 1-1 to him. He lines this one into left field. Brantley will make the catch on the run for out number 2. But that means Mookie Betts up next, 2-2 to him, and he's looking at the beautiful slider. Might have got a little bit of a favorable call, but we'll take a strikeout on Mookie Betts any day of the week. How about top 5 with these Astros bats? I haven't seen much of them today. I haven't seen anything at all, actually. George Springer, first batter up, 3-2, gets a high fastball, drills it to right field, but Betts will put it away for out number 1. Correa up next. 1-1 to him. He gets a fastball who drills it to right center. Good contact on that pitch, but it's also flown out to Mookie Betts for out number 2. Lesmus Diaz up next, 3-1. He's going to walk, so base runner does come on board for Garrett Stubbs, who gets a 1-1. Nice fastball, flared out to left field, but once again, that one's caught in the outfield. Can we do anything in the top of the 6th? Michael Brantley up first. He turns on a nice fastball, sends it deep to right field. But once again, Mookie Betts has enough space. Getting good timing on these pitches, just can't seem to do anything with it. Gurriel, he's going to slap this one to first base. Another good timing hit that records an out for Baltimore. Yordan Alvarez, 0-2 to him. He's going to look silly on a curveball, strike 3. And it's through 6 innings. And our Astros, they don't even have a hit. They're getting no hit through 6 innings. Top 7, Bregman, can he break it? Well, he's going to draw a walk, so he technically gets on base. Spencer Howard's still on the mound. Mark Canha up next, full count to him. He lost this one to left center. Will this be it? It is. The Astros finally recorded a hit in the top of the 7th inning, and they now have runners on first and third thanks to Canha. Springer up next. He gets a high fastball. He puts this one in right field. That one's actually going to get down, so back-to-back hits for the Astros results in their first run of the ballgame. So Spencer Howard, who's pitched a phenomenal 6 innings, gives up 1 run here, and he's on pace. He's on the board for the other 2 if they score. And that'll do it for his day, and out comes Miguel Castro, who's had quite a few appearances this season, 20 already, with a 5.47 ERA. Very interesting turn for the Orioles, but he will come to the mound nonetheless. His first batter is Correa. He takes his first pitch, drills it to first base. That's going to be a 3-6-3 double play, but another run does score, making it now 5-2. Diaz is up next, 2-2 to him. He turns on a nice slider, but it's directly at the left fielder for out number 3. Bottom 7 now here with Baltimore. Trey Mancini steps to the dish. Brad Peacock now on the mound for Houston. And Mancini's going to take his pitch and pop it up to center field for an easy first out there for Springer. Austin Hayes back up at the dish, 3-2 to him. He's going to walk on the inside fastball, so another base runner on the board for Baltimore. And that's going to do it for Peacock, and in is going to come Joe Smith again, who we just saw in our last outing. 12 appearances, 2.65 ERA. Beautiful 16-2 strikeout walk percentage. But that's not going to matter if you're giving up a hit into right center, and especially if Canada's going to miss the angle. He takes a tumble, and the runner's going to come all the way around from first to score. It's now 6-2 Baltimore. Yikes. Chad De La Guerra up next. First pitch swinging, dribbles it over to Diaz. That's for out number 2. Runner does move up 90 feet for Adley Rutschman, but he swings a miss on a high fastball. That'll end the 7th, 6-2 Orioles, and it'll stay that to end the ballgame. Final score, Baltimore wins it in Game 1 here at Camden Yards, 6-2. Howard, who had a phenomenal day, does get his first win of the season, and Josh James will fall to 1-1. Player of the game was indeed Spencer Howard, as he went 6 no-hit innings. Unfortunately, did give up 2 earned runs later, thanks to the 7th, but overall could not be disappointed with what he did. Game 2, however, the Astros do turn around. They win 2-0. Wait until the 9th inning to get their runs. It was a 2-run shot by Correa, but the pitching did hold Baltimore to only 3 hits, and that was Rogelio Armenteros this time, who had a phenomenal outing. And then in game number 3, the Astros win 4-2, so they win games 2 and 3. As they had a 3-run in the first, never looked back. It was Verlander who went 8 strong before Osuna closed it out for his 12th of the season. Injury update, Jose Altuve is being reinstated from the IL, so to make roster space, we're actually going to put down Jack Mayfield to AAA. Diaz has played very well since being called up, so I want to keep him on the Major League roster to be our backup middle infielder. Next episode, we'll start with a 3-game series in Toronto, followed by an interleague 3-game series at home against Miami. We currently sit 21-15 on the season, so a decent start. We'll see Josh James once more next episode, see if he can bounce back. But that's going to do it for me here in this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content here on the channel. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.